Boy, so today Arsenal have obviously confirmed the long-awaited transfer of Greek forward Zolis for 34 million. Now, people, I can't lie, give him a chance, but that's for another video. The main topic today is Bruno Guimaraes. He wears that shirt along with Martinelli, Gabriel Magalhaes, sometimes Gabriel Jesus. You'll probably get another call up if you leave this club. You, Fabio Vieira, Reece Nelson, big up you lot. Year left on the deal. They need to be moved on. But we need incomings. And Sammy Motbell a short while ago actually said Arsenal are set to make 70 million bid for Newcastle's Bruno Guimaraes. What do you lot make of that? The first thing I think of when I see that is they're going to reject it. The second thing I think of is, are we wasting our time? Now, I say that to say this. The first thing is, do I think 70 million, if life was fair and the football market was where it's at and his age and all of that kind of stuff, 100%, 70 million makes sense. Unfortunately, you can see the market, you can see the poker chips that have been laid down, 117 million for Morgan Rogers, plenty of things we could have learned there. Elliot Anderson's actually been officially confirmed to Manchester City today, and there's numerous stuff, but we knew that for a while, people. So when you remove that and add this, they've obviously, Newcastle, by their standards, have had a terrible season. They brought in a centre middle too. They struggled last window in last summer in terms of recruitment, and obviously they've seen key players leave. I also say that to say this: Eddie Howe obviously knows it was a poor season from Newcastle. They want to rebuild. They want to keep their players. We're not going to get into all that FFP conversation around Newcastle, but whether they can spend money or not is another thing. They've got money, so it's not a that thing, really and truly. Also, on top of that, obviously, Gordon's left. Is that left last year? Lewis Hall's being linked with Manchester United. Tonali's completed a big transfer. Obviously, in terms of age, they're very different. In terms of Tonali and Guimaraes, two of the more known Premier League centre mids, key players for Newcastle. And whether it's, buying from abroad or club-to-club transactions, it's more than the necessary players worth. So for me, if we're not talking 80, 85 million, it's a myth for me. Also, on top of that, fair enough, there's been a lot of talk about agents and third parties involved. But the first bid is very rarely accepted. And we've heard every sort of rumor, even rumors to the point where Newcastle are actually contacting us and asking us what's exactly happening. But Sammy Motbo has said Arsenal are set to make a 70 million offer for Newcastle captain Bruno Guimaraes. The Brazil international Guimaraes is a priority target for the Gunners, with the midfielder keen to join the Premier League champions. Now, he can want us, we can want him. We need to put the bread down. Newcastle apparently are aware of the 28-year-old's preference to join Arsenal this summer. Another thing I would say is some of you lot annoy me when you're like, oh my God, he's turning 29. Bro, if we can get Guimaraes 3-4 years, you won't care in that period. That could be serious trophies. Him in place of Rice, him with Rice. Throw Lewis Skelly into the mix. Throw Zubamendi into the mix. Across the course of a 50-plus season, and obviously 70-odd if you're playing for your club and country, you add all the options I said on paper, Wanyeri, Dowman, Odegaard, Eze, Kai Havertz, Marino, little mixes and blends we can do. I like him. Hope he likes us. We need to be prepared to overpay. This is the market. I'm not saying get bumped. As I've said in many a video, I like Arsenal staying to their core principles, but you're going to have to pay the difference. We need to do better at player trading. Obviously, the immediate players that need to move on. But in general, man, because a lot of these guys are getting players cheap, selling them high. We need to look at our loan structure if we're going to have that conversation. Long term, we need to look to the multi-club structure. We probably need to revamp how we scout and find all of these guys we've been linked with and players in the last probably 10 years that, Kante, Kevin De Bruyne, Mahrez, Gundogan, these kind of players. When they're in Kevin's case, Gundogan's case, Dortmund, Kevin De Bruyne, obviously Wolfsburg, Mohamed Salah, when they're calling him a Chelsea flop and he's in Italy, fair to say it worked. So we need to kind of find that. And also, we have to adapt our strategy to a slight degree. Arsenal have shown they could overpay. But to me, as a fan, and I'm meshing all the years together, but to me, as a fan, we're never acting with money when it's 50 million for Madueke or 65 million for Kai Havertz. Now, big them up. I'm not trying to do anything against them, but all those players that polarize opinion. So I could argue, could it have been better? The extra 17 million. We know we're probably overpaying for Morgan Rogers. And maybe if we was a bit more proactive in May, June, before all these other moves and they're saying what they're saying, Bob's your uncle. Because you know what? And again, these are comments that I'm making without knowing everything. If I'm completely honest, there's a reality where you get Guimaraes first. Like Tonali's the one. Spurs are in this movie trying to get Tonali, will he, won't he? It feels like it's always us, and our signings are projected. For what it's worth, I'd love Bruno. I think we need to move on quickly. If one, we're not going to sit at the big table, and two, Newcastle are not going to really, be flexible. Arsenal determined to strengthen their squad with high-quality players this summer as they look to build on last season's title. The North London side were interested in signing Morgan Rogers, who's obviously joined Chelsea. It's understood Arsenal were given the opportunity to match Chelsea's offer. We declined. Apparently, we have a hardline maximum valuation for Guimaraes and are unwilling to overpay despite their desire to sign the midfielder. So what is that? Is that 80, 85? We won't go there. So if it becomes quick and fast that Newcastle are not on what we're on, let's just move on and find other targets. We've been linked with John Stones and obviously Ezri Konza. Apparently, we like the look of Jacobo Ramon, and he's on a list of defenders we're looking at. But it's understood clauses in the Spaniard's contract make a deal difficult. Was he at Real Madrid? If he was, there's probably a bunch of clauses there. Julian Alvarez is Arsenal's dream target, but the player's current desire is to join Barcelona. And the cost, which could exceed the British transfer fee of 125 million set for Isaac, so it's going to be big money. We've explored the move for Bradley Bacola, but if you've been following a couple of videos I've done today, apparently Liverpool are the front runners. So, yeah, man, what do we make of this?
I think it's like